There are a ton of things eToro isn't showing about your portfolio on their application. So I've built a new tool, PinFolio, where you can completely analyze your portfolio, your assets, your trades, all in one dashboard. So in this video, we're gonna go through everything that you can do with PinFolio. So here I am on the landing page. Of course, we have to log in. So what you're gonna do is press log in, or if you don't have an account, you get started. So if you go to settings, you can see that you can put in your API key and user key so it can make a connection with your eToro portfolio. You can also choose to put a dark theme or any color you like, which makes it more branded for your style. But I'm choosing the light version with orange. Orange stands for Bitcoin, of course. So what it does is actually a dashboard showing everything you wanted to show. So you can completely customize how the dashboard is built. Think of it like a smartphone where you have all the apps you want and you decide which apps you have on your first page. So if you press customize, you can delete sections, can double them, you can move them up or down, how you want them to be placed. You can even drag if you want. So that's how you play with the dashboard. And the goal is to have as much info on the application itself, but you decide what you want to see on the dashboard. So you can have charts on the dashboard, so pin into dashboard, and then it goes to the dashboard page like that. And you can see Apple is pinned with its chart. Or you can look at your last activity. You're gonna say, okay, I'm wanna watch this last trade, so I'm gonna pin it, and then it comes on top of your dashboard and you can monitor it the way you want. You can even, and this is cool, share your trades and download it. So if you go to activity, you can see this image emoticon. You just press it and it will basically show off your trade. So let's say you want to have percentages only and hide the dollars and you want to flex your returns, then this is possible with this feature. You press download and you can share it on eToro, use it in landscape form or story for your Instagram page or what else. You can even add a personal text. So let's go, and that way it get added to this image. You can also add another text or a allocation that you're holding. So whatever you want, you can add it to this image generation and post it on social media. So this was pretty cool. If you go to performance page, you can analyze your portfolio, you can analyze your trades, and this one is very important. So I made a benchmark that is customized to your portfolio. So if you're gonna connect your portfolio, it's gonna analyze which assets you have in your portfolio. So I have a lot of tech. I also have a lot of just stocks. And you can see I also have some crypto. So it's gonna determine my benchmark based on how my portfolio is allocated. And you can see I am underperforming that benchmark. So this is actually a more realistic benchmark because, for example, some people compare their crypto portfolio in a bull market against the S&P 500, which is not logic because they're holding way more speculative assets. And then people who are, for example, dividend investors that compare against the S&P 500 might underperform, but their strategy is more gaining more dividends. So this way, your portfolio gets analyzed in a different way and benchmarked against a more realistic one. So this was pretty cool to create. You can also search any asset you have been trading for the last couple of years. It shows the top trades you had so far. So for me, that would be Palantir up 1,600%. You can classify per asset, so it shows all your top assets traded in total, and also your main losers, let's say. So you can search for any assets and see how they perform. So for example, Booking, and it can tell you exactly how much the average gain was, your win rate, how long you have been holding, what your worst trade was, what your best trade was. Yeah, very interesting for you to analyze this as well. And of course, you can add it to the dashboard or make an image generation to share it to people. I also added a asset allocator, and this is very useful for me because it helps you to manage your cash. Let's say you have a certain amount of cash and you want to add NVIDIA, and you only want to make sure you add 10% of your portfolio. So then you can decide, I want to invest in different layers. Using the DCA feature, you can just ask, okay, I want to start adding after a 10% drop. This can be a 15 or a 6% drop, however you like. Then you can ask, okay, I want to invest 2% of my portfolio at each layer, and you can decide here how many layers you want. You want 8, then it will show you at what levels you'll need to add, calculated from the all-time high. You can also choose to equally invest or more in a pyramid way, where you invest less at the beginning and more at deeper drops. So very nice for you to basically let this tool calculate for you how much and when you can invest in a certain stock based on the cash you have and want to allocate into a stock, of course. There's also the allocator pie chart. So you want to see your allocation into all the assets, and you can choose if you want to see your cash as well. Then it will show you how everything is allocated percentage wise or dollar wise. You can check in sector allocation. So tech is pretty big on my side, but also you can check intra-sector allocations. So for example, within the technology, it will show me all the tech stocks that I have. Within financials, for example, it will show you which ones you have. And there's a lot of cool ways to check how your portfolio is allocated. And again, you can just choose to highlight this with a image generation. Press the image generation, and then it will show you basically how your portfolio is allocated, and you're ready to share this with your friends, family on any social platform. So yeah, that's it. It's a cool tool that I'm using myself to see how my portfolio is structured. And if you're interested in using it, I will share the link in the description. And if you need help logging in, I can always guide you on how to connect it with your portfolio. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.